Okay, my friends, I am back with our video tutorial for As You Grow layout 2. And this is the layout that has the little garden at the bottom, okay, and all of the butterflies. So this is the left page. This is the right page. Now I'm not going to go through all the steps to put your white gloss spray on, okay, just reminding you to do that before you get started. Set that aside and give it time to dry. The other reminder is that on the left page, everything is lining up along the right edge, and then you have the space on the left side, and everything on the right page is lining up on the left side with space on the right. All right, so what I'm talking to you about today is this garden down here, how to place that, and how to assemble some of your butterflies, and then how to deal with the vellum butterflies. Okay, so first of all, I want to talk to you a little bit about the gardens. Now, when I'm cutting these, I always try and decide which side of the cardstock I like the best. And so for this layout, I decided that I liked the light side better. Okay, so I've given you the light side. Now on mine, I did the dark side, but to me, it just turned out a little bit too dark. Okay, so what I did was I turned that around and I changed it to light for you all. And if you look at this, you'll see, I think it's a lot nicer with the light side up. Now, the way you can tell always with Cricut cuts, which is the right side and which is the wrong side, is if you look very carefully at where the direction changes, okay, you can see it's a nice clean cut. If I turn it over to the wrong side, okay, you can see that at every direction change is a little bit of white. And I hope you can see that. Okay, now it's not that bad, right? But that's just how you can tell. Now, if you do want to use the dark side, go ahead, just flip it over and use the dark side. You'll see those little white pieces, but by the time you get all of your embellishments on here, no problemo. Okay, now the other thing about the garden is that I lined up the bottom of the garden with the bottom edge of the charcoal wood grain paper, okay, all the way along. Okay, it's just as simple as that. And I just put my liquid glue, okay, just along the bottom edge. Now, if this was a card, I probably would put more glue behind the flowers or the grass, but because it's a scrapbook layout, you're putting it inside a protective sleeve. Okay, you really don't need to glue all these flowers down. Okay, if you really feel compelled to glue, you could glue like behind the solid ones, like this one or this one, not the ones with the holes in them. Here's a solid, okay, a solid. All right, but it really is not necessary. Okay, so that is that. Now I want to move these out of the way here so that we can talk about butterflies. So there's quite an assortment of them, and just because I've given you all of these does not mean you have to use them all. Okay, it's entirely up to you. Okay, first thing I'm going to do, this is what I do every time I create with Cricut. So I make sure I've got everything on the right sides. Okay, and so for the pink butterflies, the dark is on the bottom, the light is on the top. Same with the smaller one. Okay, and then for the sapphire butterflies, okay, the good side is the dark side. And you can see all of the white cuts on the light side. Okay, so you can use the dark side or you can use the lights, it's up to you. Okay, and then I'm going to grab my wings. So 2 for each of the sapphire butterflies. I did this in bluebell glitter paper because it's beautiful. Okay, and then here's my smaller butterfly that is exactly the same as that big one. Okay, and then we've got our 2 wings. Now my wings are not that great. I take all the rejects from my kit. All right, so this is how it's going to look once it's assembled. Okay, and then here's my smaller 2-layer butterfly. And The light goes on the top, the dark goes on the bottom. Okay, and I think I'm good. Now, I want to just, I did not do this on this layout, but I want to just show you something that you could do. Okay, so if you look at this vellum butterfly, this glitter paper butterfly, and this pink butterfly, they're all cut from the same shape and size. So you could layer them if you wanted to, and it's quite pretty. All right, so you could layer it like this. You could put your vellum underneath. Okay, actually, I'm just going to just do that to show you. Now I'm using my liquid glass. All right, and the reason I am is because of the vellum. The liquid glass is a good consistency and it has the very small tip on the end. All right, and that's what we want. Okay, so all I'm doing, just going to zoom this in a bit. Okay. Oh, is I'm just putting a little, whoops, not that much. That was a surprise. Okay, I'm just going to take some of this off because it's way too much. Okay, and I just want the glue right in the center of the butterfly, so on the body part. And then I'm just going to put my pink butterfly on top. I'm going to press that down. Now, because I put so much glue on, it's going to stick more than I want. But okay, so now what you can do, whoops, these are so little, is holding the center with your thumb and your finger. Okay, you can lift the wings of the top layer. You know, because the glue is not dry, I want to make sure that I'm holding the center. And this one glued back together again. Right here. I think my glue is about dry now. Stop it. All right, there we go. Okay, so if you look at the butterfly like this, you'll see that we have two layers, and you're going to attach the vellum layer onto your paper, and then the pink layer will be sitting on top of it. Now, another thing that you can do is like with your glitter ones. Okay, I'm just going to trim a little bit of that away. I didn't have my pressure right for this first cut. Okay, so I've got this bigger one, and okay, remember I always give myself the rejects for, so some of these don't look great, but you can actually put it on top just like that. Okay, so what I'm going to do with that one is, I have to remember that this is really running very quickly today. And the camera is just put a little bead in the center at the body. Okay, and then I'm going to lay my vellum down on top of that. Okay, and I'm going to just leave it like that for a second. And while that is drying, I'm going to grab these stickles. I'm going to grab my steel stickles. Okay, that's this one, steel. Okay. Now, this is, excuse me, one way that you can hide the adhesive with vellum paper is covering it up with an embellishment. Okay, that's not quite dry yet. But I'm going to go ahead and add the stickles anyways. Oops, oh dear. Okay, over there. So because I'm putting it onto glitter paper, it's not drying as quickly. It will dry, but it just doesn't work as quickly. Liquid glue and glitter paper and foil and things like that are not the greatest. You could use a glue dot if you'd rather, but what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just add a bead of the blue, the steel. I always want to say blue steel, but it's not blue steel, it's just steel. Stickles. I need like tweezers here. This is really giving me a tough time here. Oh, look up. It's like the glitter paper stuck right to the mat. Okay, there we go. And so what it will look like when it's done is that. Okay, and I know it's not dry yet, but I just want to give you the idea. I'm holding it at the body, and I'm just lifting up the vellum wing. Okay, and so when you attach it, you'll have this effect on your page. Okay, so now, what was the other thing? Oh yes, the pink butterflies. I will use the big one just because it's easier for you to see. Now, when there's small cuts made out of the body like that, there will undoubtedly be pieces left in there that don't come out when I'm taking everything off the mat. So that's the first thing you have to do, is just check and make sure all of the cut pieces have come out and everything looks clean. Now, because this has so many holes in it, I'm going to put the glue on this piece. Okay, and I'm going back to my, oops, forgot to put the lid on this. That's one lesson hard learned, is to always re-lid your liquid glass immediately. Okay, so remember that your glue, okay, does not have to be absolutely everywhere. Okay, what are you doing here? Sorry, now my Tombow wants to give me a problem here. This isn't that old of a bottle. Okay, I just used you like 2 minutes ago. Why are you doing this? Sorry, just got to fix. Oh yeah, there was a big glob of dried glue there. All right, now, because I just opened this up, I'm going to try over here to make sure it's, and yes, it is. Okay, I never test right on my work. Okay, and just putting a little bit of glue in the middle, and then I'm just daubing it around. Okay, I'm not covering the entire thing in glue. I have seen some people put a big dollop of glue on their work surface, like on their craft mat, and then use a paintbrush to add it on. But it just doesn't seem to me like it needs that much glue. Okay, let's put it this way. And then I'm just going to pick it up with my tweezers. And I'm going to lay it down. Have your microfiber cloth handy. Now you always have the option of only attaching this at the body again and leaving the wings free. But with these type of 2-layered butterflies that have one that's got all of the cut embellishments or the embellishment cuts on it, I prefer to glue them right together. And then when you put them on the actual page, let's take off a minute here. Some scrap. This one. Okay, then when you go to put them on the piece on your layout, okay, or on your paper card, whatever you're going to use, I just put my thumb and finger at the body again, and I just bend the wing up, and then I do the same thing on this side, and then that leaves me that nice little surface right there to add some glue to. And then I just put it down where I want it and hold it there for a couple seconds until it starts to dry. Okay, that ought to do it. And then this is what you have on your layout. Looks so pretty. Okay, so that's the pink butterflies, the small one. That's this one works exactly the same. And if you wanted, you could add on the body, you could add stickles or liquid pearls. You could put sparkles on there, or pearls rather than liquid pearls. There's just really a lot of different things. Oops, just put my finger in that. You can use to embellish the bodies. You can actually also embellish on the wings if you wanted to. You could use shimmer brush. Yeah, there's just a lot of different things that you could use. Okay, I'm just going to clean this up. This is another one that came off that first cut off the glitter paper. And I just had the default pressure rather than the molar pressure, and it didn't cut all the way through. Okay, so for this one, I'm putting the glue on the wings. Shining the screen. Okay, and I'm not putting the glue all the way up to the edge. Just like to leave a little border all the way around. And then I just put it in place with my tweezers. Hold it there for a second until it starts to dry. Now, when you're using the tweezers, you can see what you're doing better. And with these smaller images, like it's really better to see more. Because they're so small. Okay, so there you go. And the large one, the large butterfly works exactly the same. Now, if you wanted to, again, you could embellish the body if you wanted to. Not necessary though, because to me the wings really add a lot of beauty to this. Okay, and same thing, these wings are actually meant to bend. You can see the little score lines that Cricut cuts for you. And then that gives you a perfect surface for the glue. And then you just hold it down there. Let it start to dry. Gosh, I get glue all over my fingers. My gosh, I pick everything up. Oh, what a disaster sometimes. So basically with my butterflies, I don't ever glue the wings down. Oops, that didn't hold. I only ever glue the body down. Because it's just a beautiful effect. And you know, when you put it into the paper, the sleeve, the page protector, that it's going to push them down a little bit, but you can still see the dimension. Okay, so now back to the vellum flowers. So a lot of them I just put plain onto the layout. Just bring one in and show you a little closer. So you can see down here. Whoops, maybe you can't there. Here I put one right on the flower. All right, so for them, I would recommend a micro glue dot or the liquid glass. Sorry, I forgot what it was called there for a second. Okay, so when I am gluing the vellum down, before I start to add the glue, I fold the wings up so that they're a little bit out of the way and they won't be so able to grab onto the glue. Okay, and I'm just going to bring in my liquid glass again. And well, the texture or the consistency of this glue is really good for vellum, but also it's got such a fine applicator. It works really, really well to target where you want to put it. Okay, so I've got just a little bit of glue on the body. I'm holding the wings together. Okay, and I'm just going to plop it down there. And I'm just going to hold it like that. Let's see what I'm doing there. I'm holding the wings together, and I'm just holding the paper down against the background paper, and it's not cooperating with me here there till the liquid glass starts to dry. Sometimes it takes a minute. So basically, with these butterflies, you can really create many, many different varieties. And even the medium-sized plain ones that I gave you, they are cut from the same shape. So if you want to layer them, go right ahead. This should be holding now. Yep. Oh, nope. Darn it. Okay, so I'm just going to pretend that it actually did hold because I don't want to keep you here. But you can see where the glue is on the center part there. And so what I did here was use my steel stickles again. Okay, and I just went over the body shape. with my stickles just to cover up where the pretend glue is. Just like that. So this is how it will look on your layout. Just like that. All right. Okay, so I think that was everything I wanted to talk to you about this layout. Good luck with your butterflies. If you have any questions, please just ask. You can leave a comment under this video. You can send me an email or text me, whatever you want. I'm always here to answer your questions. Yeah, good luck with the butterflies, and stay tuned for the video tutorial for layout 3 coming very, very soon.